Leaf Talk.
Hey, how you doing? Drew here, your Queen City cabbie, and I'm in the cab today. We got the nicer one. Right? It's got these weird door handles here. Yeah, this thing kind of, because you pull it up like this, right? It confuses everybody. Uh, everybody, oh, where's the door handle? It's just a stupid design. I don't know why Ford did this, but see, there's the handle, like I said, and that's the where you push back to open the door. It confuses everybody. Everybody. I don't know why the hell Ford did this. It's totally unexplainable. But this is one of the nicer cabs we have. Yeah, and it's cool. So some things going on here that are kind of interesting, emblematic of the taxi life. Uh, oh yeah, and of course we had a really cool thing happen here in Bangor. This Russian cargo jet came through and stayed for a bit. I'll put a picture right here. Boom. It's the largest cargo jet in the world. Yeah, it was cool. And it was here, so you could take a look. Insanely big too. And you think, how the hell does that thing fly? You know, but physics. All right, and yeah, and then a couple of really, yeah, like I said, emblematic kind of examples of just being a taxi driver. Even a small city like Bangor, it's only got 33,000 people. Man, I tell you, like I said, most days I am busy from morning till night, or at least from the beginning of the shift, which is 12 hours, to the end. Just busy all the time, but today it's Saturday and it's kind of relaxing. I've already had a couple of trips. Actually, I've had one trip. I had to go to Orono and take somebody to a hotel where she works. And then I got a call at a hospital. And unfortunately, when I showed up, what do I see? Uber. Uber. Uh, and they were getting in the car and they said, "We're so sorry." No, you aren't. But they were young people. And they were going all the way to Bucksport. So that would have been a good fare, but it was Uber. Huh? I said, "You realize, you're waiving a right to sue them in case of damages and so forth." And they said, "Well, we don't care. We want to." Of course, I had to that driver. So, don't worry, it's gonna pick up soon. Once you start getting into the morning, even in situations where it's kind of quiet, yeah, it's just gonna pick up, and you're just gonna be busy all the way to the end of the shift. Yeah, so a couple of interesting situations. The first was 2 days ago, really early in the morning, like 7:15. Nah, about 5:15 or some sort of really early in the morning. I got to call a place called Joe's Market. Yeah, there's a neighborhood market. It's very popular in the neighborhood, and they have a small little parking lot. But I got called to there. They were going to the Howard Johnsons out by the airport. So I thought, okay, no problem. So I show up, and it's this greasy-looking guy, greasy-looking white guy, and he drops off this woman who looked pretty much death warmed over. Right? Yeah, there was that kind of weird situation because shady stuff goes on here. It's like any city, especially with the opioid epidemic and the general poverty. Yeah. So yeah, she looked like death warmed over. It was a sad looking case, but she had her satchel, duffel bag kind of thing. So he dropped her off, or basically, yeah, dropped her off. I took her to the Howard Johnson's, And there was this really swarthy looking guy, rather unsavory looking. Couldn't tell if he was Hispanic or Arabic. Uh, yeah, it was hard to tell. Spoke okay English, even though he didn't say barely anything, but he was the one that paid, right? So she took her to the hotel. She gets out. He comes out of the hotel. He pays for it and takes her in. So, in that case, it was kind of obvious. It was kind of a prostitution situation or human trafficking, which is how you're supposed to. Yeah, according to this police officer back in Oakhurst, California, yeah, the local conservative group had this police officer who handles prostitution, come and brief us about how it works, how they operate, how they trap the girls, right? So yeah, from what he said, this was kind of an obvious situation. Just like she was like death warmed over. Yeah, she's at the point that she's been used up so much that they're going to just basically knock her off and dump her. Okay, I just thought Right, so that was that situation. I did tell the police. As soon as I had gotten away, I phoned the police, left a message, and gave the details. All right. This thing's flashing for some reason, but yeah. And then a second. Okay, sorry about that. I had an interruption. My internal card or internal memory card is full, so I got to switch to the other one. All right. So the second one was kind of fun, rather interesting. It's this older lady, baby boomer, who was basically escaping to Ecuador. All right. So I get a call, go to the airport, and apparently she didn't. There was restrictions on how much you could carry. I wasn't exactly sure, but she had a large suitcase jammed full of clothes, mainly, according to her. So you couldn't get that, or you couldn't take that with you. You had to have a limited amount of luggage in order to get to Ecuador. So she had a problem. She could either dump it, just throw all that stuff away, which she didn't want to do, or mail it. So there was a problem. So there's a FedEx shipment center right next to the airport, or around the other side. So I took her to that. The clerk was rather unhelpful. Required a postal code, and she didn't want to find it. And since we couldn't find it, she said, well, take me to the UPS place. We'll try that. All right, so then we start driving. And since we went by a post office downtown Bangor, I decided to just pull in, just like go in there, see if you can get any help from them, because if they could ship it, nah, go for it. So she goes in, she gets the postal code, then we go back to the FedEx. Yeah, go back to she does it. Cost a lot. I mean, it was like $1,000, something roughly approximating $1,000 to ship a suitcase full of clothes to Ecuador. And she was really quarantining herself because she was going to some tiny little town with no electricity, no nothing. Right? It's up in the mountains. It's a small town, and there's going to be pretty much nothing there. So she was really isolating herself. But she's I don't know, just a typical kind of eccentric baby boomer woman, and kind of repeating a lot of the old populist conspiracy theories about chemtrails and things of that kind. You just gotta kind of joke about it, you know? Yeah. So eventually, like I said, she got her luggage sent off, and I took her back to the airport. And by that time, with all the I don't know, all the paperwork you got to do to basically send something overseas to a little place like Ecuador. Yeah, it took a long time. So by the time she was finished, let's see, this is quite a bit. Ba-da-ba-ba-bum. It's quite a bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, $48.35. Oh wow. So yeah, so that was interesting. All right, so that's it, Drew. It's what am I up now? Oh, probably about 10 minutes or so. So I'll stop here. That's enough of the anecdotes of your Queen City cabbie here in Bangor, Maine. All right, life as a taxi driver in a small city. Yeah. All right. See y'all later. Stay tuned. More videos, more life, more adventures. Yeah.